Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and you're very welcome to the programme. And we're continuing here at GLENARM Castle, and we've just finished with the castle. And what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at this old church. This old church is an unsubscribing Presbyterian church, or in other words, they don't subscribe to the Westminster Confession of Faith. So it's GLENARM Old Presbyterian Church, as you can see from the billboard there. And there's a wee bit of information here on it, so I'm going to read it out to you. It says, Presbyterianism in GLENARM can be traced back to the early 17th century, when lowland Scottish Presbyterian planters were encouraged to settle the region by the Earl of Antrim. One well-known preacher was Thomas Reid, who was minister for 56 years, from 1756 to 1812. The old meeting house in GLENARM was built during his tenure. Then it says the meeting house 1762. In 1756, work started to transform GLENARM Castle into a Paladine, I think it is, mansion. It seems likely that the meeting house formed part of this scheme. By placing it directly opposite the then gates to the demise, it fulfilled both a social need for local Presbyterians and fulfilled an aesthetic purpose, closing the view at the road from the demise. The meeting house may have taken some stylistic cues from the castle. Its round-headed windows were probably inspired by the castle's Venetian windows. So there you are. So it was the first Earl then. It was the Earl of Antrim, it says. Not the first, but it was encouraged to settle the region by the Earl of Antrim. So I'm not sure which one that was. Whether it was the first or not. Probably was the first. Rondel. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But anyway, I'll take you in here and have a wee look. You can see the sea through the tree there. As I say, it says GLENARM Old Presbyterian Church, an unsubscribing congregation founded 1622. So there you are. Now, there's writing up in the top, but I can't make it out, and I don't know if you'll be able to or not yourself. There's definitely dates, I think, up at the top there of the white writing. But, not sure what the dates are. So there was Presbyterianism in GLENARM from 1622, and then later the unsubscribing Presbyterian Church was formed, if you remember, through the schism of Henry Montgomery, the Reverend Henry Montgomery, who was orthodox in his views on the Godhead, and then the Reverend Henry Montgomery, who was Arian in his views of the Godhead. And then you had the, I hope you can see in there, and then you had the Reverend Henry Cook, and he was orthodox in his views of the Godhead. In other words, he believed in the Trinity and that Jesus is God. And that was a big controversy back in the day, back in the 19th century. So it was in the Presbyterian Church. And I've done a few videos on that. It's quite a lot, actually. If you go into my playlist, you'll see where I cover Henry Cook's church and also cover Henry Montgomery's church as well. So this one here would fall under the camp of Henry Montgomery, the Reverend Henry Montgomery. See the blue there? Isn't that nice? That's beautiful. So there you go. So that's your wee tour here of the unsubscribing Presbyterian Church in GLENARM, and there's a lovely wee view of the mountain, the hill. So thanks for watching, and God bless.